Guys, we've talked about this. I can't close the door, so you need to just on your own stay out of the house. Why is it that every morning I come and you're inside? Listen, we've talked about this. You can't be here. It's not safe. You're eating my materials. You're causing a lot of problems. And you pooped in the house. Really, guys? This is getting ridiculous. Well, this is just not cool. It smells so bad in here. Oh my goodness. Well, we're doing our best to turn this from a barn to a house, but the animals don't seem to like that idea. Oh my God, it smells so bad. I like goats. Goats are okay, normal goats. These two are not normal. They don't eat grass, they eat all of our trash. They've been eating our materials. They want to live inside the house, and we have no way to keep them out. If they would just eat the grass, we would get along. Instead, they eat our materials and they poop all over our tools. This week we're starting work on the pointing of the house. The pointing is all of the mortar that goes in between the stones. We're using a lime-based mortar that also has a little bit of cement in order to add strength to the lime-based mortar. Otherwise the lime will kind of fall apart after 10 or 15 years. This is the same mix that they use on all houses in Italy in this area. There's a couple different techniques that you can use. The old school way is to get a tray and to kind of force the mortar in slowly, which I've tried before and I'm quite terrible at it. But what we're doing today is we're using these, what do you call these? These cake decorating.
Yeah, it's like an icing bag.
It's an icing bag. We're filling the icing bag with mortar, pumping that into all of the joints, and then you really need to kind of overfill the joint, so temporarily it's gonna look like an absolute mess because we're just gonna have mortar spilling out of all of the joints, and then as that dries, you go back with your spatula and kind of scrape it away, and then there's several different layers to the process, and eventually you go over everything with a wire brush to kind of fine-tune the look and get all of the joints looking nice. We've just finished this room here, this wall right here, and man, look at that. That is just beautiful, especially up against these chestnut wood beams here. A little bit of weird lighting going on with this construction light here, but man, that is nice. I need to refinish these beams, clean them up a little bit, put another layer of oil on them, but look at the contrast between the stones and these beams, and to look across and see that other doorway down there. It's been a long road getting here, but man, it's all kind of just, you know, coming together. We just need to get these walls finished up, painted, and it's a room. Well, good morning. We've been plowing through working on this pointing for a long time now. It's looking beautiful, but it's tedious work. It takes a lot of effort and a lot of time. Actually, if I'm going to be honest, I've put the camera down for 2 or 3 days now, and there's a lot to catch you up on. We've made a lot of progress, and I'll fill you in on it a little bit, but I need to get back to the pointing. This guy. I could never get this guy to wear ear protection until he realized that my ear defenders have Bluetooth. And now he won't give them back.
Molto bello.
So even though my background and my college education has been in the creative media world, I've never been able to wrap my mind around traditional graphic design programs. They are simply too complicated for me. But if you're anything like me and you want to design things, then allow me to introduce you to a very simple solution, Kittl. Kittl is a browser-based design tool that helps beginners and professionals alike design anything from calendars to wall art for your home, all the way up to professional logos and marketing materials for your business. What I love about Kittl is that you can step into the design world without any prior experience at all, utilizing their templates and easy drag and drop interfaces to design anything that you can think of. Actually, I think one of the best parts of using Kittl is simply scrolling through all of their different templates to get ideas of different things that you can design. I think this would be a great way to make some personalized Christmas gifts. You could have personalized family calendars, which is one tradition that we have. You can design coffee mugs or coasters or even your own stickers. I mean, how fun would it be if you're into canning and you design your own label for all of your canned goods? Or if you work for a small business that can't afford to hire a graphic designer, then you can design professional marketing materials with no prior experience. And right now you can try Kittl completely for free using the link in the description below. And if you use our coupon code RAISINGVoyagersYT, then you can get 25% off any paid plan. Thanks so much to Kittl for sponsoring today's video. Now, let's get back at it. So I mentioned I put the camera down for a couple of days, and just because things were happening so fast, sometimes I forget to, set up the camera and fill you guys in. But we managed to get this entire kitchen wall rendered. This was the wall that was kind of a disaster with outlets going everywhere, water lines running everywhere. We've got some air intakes going on here. There's just an absolute mess. We built that beautiful wall and then we slashed it to bits to pass everything through. And then Carlo rendered this entire wall, making it look quite nice, while Alessio was working on covering up all of the imperfections in the ceiling here. There was a lot of exposed, ugly concrete from some previous work that was done. And we've done that same process that we did upstairs to kind of cover that up and still have the stonework shining through. But now this room is really coming together and you can really envision the finished kitchen in this area.
So I know I say this all the time, but it's so amazing to see this all come together, seeing them doing the more decorative details of pointing these stones and covering up that ugly cement. It really feels like a home, and I'm really starting to be able to picture, what it's gonna look like when everything is finished. Each day, we keep moving forward, and sometimes we have to make more messes, and then it looks worse, and then you think, what are we doing? And then you clean it up, and it all kind of comes together, and it's like, oh no, now it's closer, we're closer. And I don't know, it's just really encouraging for me to see all of this kind of stuff coming together, because these are more of these final touches. Obviously, we still have a lot of work ahead of us, but it is really, really encouraging. So yesterday, they also finished all of the pointing in this entryway and in the hall up to the second floor. It's looking really, really good. I know Bradey has a little bit of apprehension about the gray as the middle of the stones. What do you call that, Bradey?
The pointing.
You just call it pointing?
Yeah.
Okay, so the gray pointing, but I really think it's gonna look really nice, and I know it's gonna get a little bit lighter as it dries, but I think it looks really, really nice. It really looks a lot more polished, but yet still has that rustic feel. So we did have scaffolding covering up this whole area, so it was easy to kind of forget what it looked like and how beautiful it really was. But now that that is down, you can really appreciate this and how it goes for all the way from the first floor up to the second floor. You see this beautiful wall that spans the whole length, and oh my goodness, it's really breathtaking.
Pointing, there's lots of holes that we need to fill, so constantly going outside getting buckets of stone, bringing it back in to fill those holes.
Wow.
Ti serve ancora?
Sì, ma belli.
Ah, belli? Tutti i sassi belli?
No, belli.
Ah, non è vero.
You have to translate.
Wow. He's complaining that the stones I'm bringing him aren't very beautiful. Earlier, it was him who quoted scripture. Earlier, it was him when I said the stones weren't beautiful, that the stone rejected by the builder became the cornerstone.
Beautiful day.
But now he's complaining that the stones aren't beautiful enough. I got in trouble for this and trying to fix all my mistakes.
Oh.
That giant hole, I think I mentioned in a previous video, we have to save that open for now in order to run a new pipe up the chimney to make the fireplace legal and according to code and functioning much better than it currently does, because it just leaks smoke out everywhere. Once we put the chimney in proper, then we close that up. We've got a nice, beautiful stone to kind of carry up the theme of the large original stones. We'll close that hole up.
Voila.
So I am currently looking for some stones to help fill in the gaps while they're pointing. If we have large gaps, it's going to look less natural. It's going to look more, manufactured. So we want it to be as natural as possible. So we're looking for stones that have a flat edge, but they're not too big so that they can kind of squeeze them into those little spots that are holes. And it'll have a more complete look to the wall and not have those big gaps of the cement. So while I am mostly concerned with the aesthetics of it, it actually has a purpose structurally as well. That'll be much more solid if we can fill in those gaps. If it's just those holes of just the mortar, it's not going to be as strong.
Va bene, andiamo. Qua.
So this entire process is really not difficult at all. I feel like anyone could do it. The biggest thing is watching the dry times, because the mortar will go off, meaning dry, at various paces depending on the surface it's put on. For example, these are our new doorways that we built a few months ago. The gaps between the stones are so much smaller, and then there's mortar on the inside of those stones. So when you add in the fresh mortar, it's both a smaller area and the mortar on the inside is sucking all of the moisture out of it. So these doorways, any of the new work that we've done, the mortar is going off so much faster, like 5 to 6 hours faster than the rest of the work. So even though we just put this mortar in, I think it was like an hour ago, it's time to do the final stages, whereas the stuff that we did this morning is still not ready for the second stage.
Looks so pretty with the wood lentils up there. Oh my goodness, it's gorgeous.
We need to refinish them, just like clean them up and add linseed oil over again, but that's to be expected.
Just the combination of that looking so finished, it looks so good.
Molto good.
Looks good.
Molto bravo, as Carla would say. Molto bravo.
Molto wow.
Molto wow. Aiuto! We need to get a t-shirt made of all of Carla's sayings. Molto bene. Molto wow.
Strong man.
Strongman. Non serve quello.
Non serve? Perché?
Senza due.
Ok.
No, lasciala però. No, non metterla. No, lasciala. Ehi. No, fai così.
Ok.
Aspetta. Oh, minchia. No, se no non si sta. Ok, buona. Voila!
Oh! Please be careful.
Mater de Dios.
Okay. Heather, I'm thinking we'll clean up all of this cement up to here.
Okay.
Maybe put a thin stone here. Maybe. Probably
Okay.
not. And then most likely from here start the rendering to cover up all of this. I'll cut off this corner, but most of this has to stay because there's nothing underneath it. It's solid concrete. Unless you want to spend 3 days chiseling it away to swap it out for a
fine. I like the look of
No, it's looking
render
really
too,
good.
so I think it's a good balance.
Yeah, it's a balance, making sure that it's not too much and we're also not spending too much time. But I think it looks nice.
I think that's great.
Well, it's been a really big week. I'm tired, not gonna lie, but could not be happier. Have you ever had one of those moments where you're so deep into a project, maybe it's a renovation, maybe it's I don't know, a big puzzle, and you are just so deep into the monotonous work of just the next step, and you look up and realize, oh my goodness, like it's almost done. Like that's what I just had. I just had that moment where I looked up after doing days and days and days of monotonous work, and I realized, oh my goodness, like we're building a beautiful home. And it's just a beautiful thing to see these stones kind of come together with the pointing, and after cleaning them up and seeing the final look, yes, the sun is setting, it's hard to see it in good light right now, but it just looks fantastic, especially against the chestnut beams under each doorway and under each window. And man, we're this close. Definitely a few more rooms to go. These things do take time, but we're cleaning up for the week. And thank you so much for watching and supporting us, and we will see you next week.